the Communist Manifesto, published in 1848, Marx and Engels outlined the fundamental transformations Western society experienced with the rise of the bourgeoisie. Marx and Engels defined the bourgeoisie as the social class of capitalists who own the means of production. Meanwhile, the proletariat can be defined as the class of individuals who do not own the means of production and thus must sell their labor to survive. In the 19th century, these two classes emerged as the central actors in Western societies, with the bourgeoisie accumulating wealth and the proletariat providing labor. To expand profits and improve their economic standing, the bourgeoisie sought a political system that removed the restrictions of feudalism. This drive for liberation reshaped the production system. Before the French Revolution, for instance, most peasants were serfs, tied to local lords who controlled their movement and personal lives. With the rise of the bourgeoisie and the establishment of a democratic bourgeois republic, former serfs gained mobility, freeing the bourgeoisie from the obligation to provide them with housing and sustenance. This change also transitioned the labor force from a feudal dependency to a more flexible, market-oriented workforce. Over time, as the bourgeoisie benefited economically from colonial slavery, they eventually moved away from it, preferring wage labor, which catalyzed yet another political transformation. Driven by the need for new markets, the bourgeoisie expanded globally, exploring ways to increase their wealth. This global expansion involved the colonization and the exploitation of resources and labor worldwide. For instance, the British forced opium dependence on China to secure a large market, and European powers exploited labor and resources in Africa and the Americas for products like coffee, sugar, and spices. This globalization continues today, visible in outsourcing and the homogenization of urban landscapes, brands, and consumer behavior. From downtown San Salvador to neighborhoods in Paris, one finds a similar commercial and cultural landscape. Industrialization shifted family dynamics as child and female labor outside the home became more common, driven by the need for additional income to counter the precarious condition of the working class. The bourgeoisie has torn away the sentimental veil that once covered family relationships, reducing them to mere money relations. As the bourgeoisie grew and industry proliferated, the proletariat expanded alongside it. The development of the bourgeoisie depends on the working class, which it both needs and exploits. As the bourgeoisie grows, so does the proletariat, the class of modern workers who live only on the condition that they find work, and who find work only if their labor increases capital. These workers are commodity, a tradable article like any other. Consequently, they are subject to all the ups and downs of competition and to all the fluctuation of the market. Economic and political centralization, along with the concentration of educational institutions and job opportunities, spurred a large-scale rural to urban migration. This shift began in the late 18th century in the United Kingdom, as industrialization created jobs and drew rural workers to cities. Similar trends unfolded in other parts of Europe and North America, where industrial centers grew rapidly, transforming one small town into sprawling urban hubs. The concentration of power also altered cultural landscapes. In France, for instance, centralization policies reduced the prominence of regional cultures and languages. Many local dialects, such as Breton and Occitan, gradually diminished under policies aimed at national unity, driven by the spread of standardized French language and culture. This urban migration and centralization also had a ripple effect on social structures. As traditional rural community ties weakened, giving rise to new forms of urban social organization and changing family structures. The bourgeoisie concentrated production in urban areas, bringing population together and consolidating property into fewer hands. This centralization resulted in political unification. Independent provinces, previously held together by loose federation and separate laws, were united under a single national interest governed by one set of laws and customs.